Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's your girl here, Nathania Plays, back with another video here on the channel. Welcome if you are new, and if you are not, welcome back. And we are here for a different type of video today. I am going to be going over my personal MC Command Center settings, and I'm also going to be giving some insight into which settings and like what they mean and how you should use them and how they can improve your gameplay. So I know that sometimes mods like this can be pretty overwhelming, especially if you are new to the modding community or if you don't really know how to use certain mods. So let me know if you like this type of video and if you would like to see more content like this in the future. If you would, please comment down below. If you are new, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. It's free, 100% free, and it helps a lot. So the first way to access MC Command Center is by using the computer. You just click on it, just any computer in your game, and then the MC Command Center option should pop up. So you just click on that, and then you get this whole option, this whole menu option here. So we're start off from the very beginning, MC Command Center settings. So once you click on that, you have the option to choose autosave. So you can have your game save automatically within specific intervals. So say for example you want to implement the autosave feature, you can scroll down and click use autosave and then enable that. And then once that is enabled, then you will have your game automatically saving on its own. I personally prefer mine to be disabled because if something crazy happens, I don't want to have to go through having to recover old save files. So that is an option that you can use. There's also gameplay settings where these are all a lot of different options that MC Command Center gives you and allows you to drastically impact your game so much. So this right here, adopt a neglected child, is, for example, if you have a sim child in your game, we'll just use the Goth family for example. If Alex Goth, that's the little boy, right? I think the little boy Alexander Goth, right? If Bella and Mortimer Goth were for whatever reason not able to keep him, or if they died in the game and Cassandra also wasn't able to take Alex, then this option here would allow him to be adopted by a different family. So I actually do want that enabled, so I went ahead and enabled that. So this gives the option, so for example, if Mortimer and Bella Goth were to pass away in the game, this means that since Cassandra is a teenager and older in the game, she is now able to adopt this child. So I'm gonna have that enabled. That is what we do want. Character values, difficulty adjustment. So we know how we have the responsibility, the what are the other ones? The character values. You guys know what I'm talking about. The thing that the little kids have, the responsibility, emotional control, all that stuff. So this controls how fast or slow you're able to grow those character values. So if you want your sim to grow those character values faster, then you want to have closer to the number 10. If you want them to decay, if you want them to go up slower, then you want it to be closer to -50. I'm gonna leave mine at 0 because I think that's perfectly fine. Fame difficulty, again, it's a similar concept. If you want their fame to go up faster, 10. If you want it to go up slower, -50. Game time speed, this is a big one. A lot of people like to use this feature to slow down the game a little bit because it is so fast. You can see here that I have mine at the default value, but I often go on ahead and make my games a little bit slower. So if you wanted to do that as well, you can increase the maximum value. If you have it at 1,000, your game will go super slow. But if you have it at 1, it can go pretty fast. So if we scroll down a little bit, we have maximum household size here. Now the default is 8 Sims. We all know that the maximum amount of Sims you can typically have in your Sims household is 8. However, MC Command Center allows you to increase up until 104 Sims in a single family. As you can imagine, that will cause absolute chaos. So don't do that, but you're allowed to. It is an option if you are feeling crazy or if you're doing a challenge or something like that. Keep in mind though that if you were to use this feature, you cannot put multiple Sims in CAS, or you cannot put more than 8 Sims at a time in CAS. So if you do increase your family size to 9 or above, then you will only be able to edit 1 Sim at a time in Create a Sim. So that is something to keep in mind. Maximum rename length. So this feature right here, it allows you to rename a Sim with a longer first or last name. I mean, it can cut off or it can cause errors in Create a Sim and things like that, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. You can change it or you can leave it. It's up to you. Motive decay is another one. So if you decide to adjust this a little bit, you can decide to have their motives decay a little bit faster or a little bit slower. So baby motive decay, so this is like their needs. It's if they need to pee or if they are hungry or if they need help or anything like that. So this is for baby, cat, dog, like their motives. You can't control them. Do you want them to be more needy or less needy, basically? So that's where you can adjust that here. With your fame, it's the same concept. Do you want your Sims fame to decay faster or slower? The same concept with the Sim motive decay as the rest of them. Vampire motive decay, they're all the same. Do you want these things to increase or decrease faster or slower? And you can adjust it. You click on it. 500 is faster, 0 is slower. Pause on zone. This is a feature that I just cannot live without. So when you load onto a lot, it automatically starts playing the game. But say, for example, you're on a loading screen and you decide you need to use the bathroom or grab a cup of water, or if you are just distracted for whatever reason, this will allow your game to load and then automatically pause. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it so much. It's amazing. Such a good feature to be added into the game or to be added with this mod. So pause on zone, mandatory for me. So I absolutely recommend that be enabled. Sims are immortal, so this is a simple yes or no. Do you want immortal Sims or not? And I choose not. It's up to you. Your personal gameplay preferences will determine whether or not you like immunity to death. Are your Sims allowed to die on the lot? So have you guys ever, I know if you play the game this has happened to you before, if you are on a lot and a random Sim will just die and the Reaper shows up and then it's so chaotic and it just, no, absolutely not. So we can actually go on ahead and disable that. So the only one on this list that you really want to mess with is maybe the skill difficulty adjustment. So this is a similar concept, faster, slower. Do you want your Sims to be able to progress in their skills faster or slower? And then you just adjust the percentage right there. You can also freeze their skill progression. So if you don't want them to gain or lose any skills, you can go on ahead and adjust this. So yes, you have this option to do it for any skill that they have. So that is also an option. So there's also an option about teleport sim overlap, and we're going to get into the teleporting sims a little bit later, but just so you know, if you do want to teleport sims to your lot, they can either spawn on top of each other or they can spawn next to each other. So if you have it disabled, they will spawn next to each other side by side, and I think that is a better option. So yeah, unless you want to do it for poses and then you want to have it enabled. Okay, so the use random aging feature, this basically is just about when Sims randomly spawn into your game, it determines whether or not they are at the very base of their age or if they are random throughout their age. So for example, if in your game settings you have Sims are adults for 15 days, they can always start at 0, or maybe they'll be 10 days into their 15 days or 12 days into their 15 days. It just depends on your settings for here. If you want them to start at 0, it will be enabled, and then randomized, it'll be disabled. Okay, so that was the gameplay settings. Now we're moving on to money settings. Now allow child pay bills. We all love this feature, don't we? So if you want your child Sim to be able to pay bills on their own, then you would have this feature enabled. Your apartment bill percentage. This also can overlap with the SimRealist Bank mod or the SimRealist Bills mod if you have that. So just be mindful about that with these settings when you're adjusting them. So if you increase the value here, then that means that your rent will increase. If you decrease it, then your bills will decrease. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Same thing right here with the change bills percent. So this is just for apartments, whereas this is for houses. So auto pay bills feature is if it's enabled, then they will automatically be deducted from your Sims household. You can also adjust the child support percentage and the inheritance. So for the inheritance, it basically means if a Sim passes away, will their money go to their family members, their children, or their spouse? And you can decide if you want it to be only active Sims that you're playing with, if you want it to be all Sims across your entire game, if you want it to be only NPC Sims, so Sims that you're not playing with, or if you want it to be no one, if you want it to be only Sims that you're playing. It's just all these different settings that allows you to decide who will give their inheritances away when they pass. I usually just leave it at all because I feel like that is what makes the most sense. And then you can also decide if you want their spouse to get their money rather than their children. That is what I choose. And then you can also do child support options. So do you want married Sims to receive child support? Do you want unmarried only to receive child support? That is the setting that I feel makes the most sense. So that is what I go with. I go with unmarried only. So for example, if you have a single parent, then the money will be deducted from the other parent's household funds and it put directly into your Sims funds when they get their bills. So those are my money settings for MC Command Center. Now you have your notification, your console, your menu settings. So when you go here, you can change your Sims menu order. So for example, if I have modify household in CAS, I can click on this and I can move it up or down the list. And I'll show you what this will look like a little bit later. But basically, if you click on a Sim, you can click MC Command Center from them, and then this is the menu options that pop up. So then you can adjust this however you want, just the order of the way you want things to appear in that file. Now you can also do console command setting, build by settings. You want to buy debug enabled, you want your free build enabled, your ignore unlocks, and all these cheats that you would normally have to type in, you can have them automatically be enabled. So I actually do like these settings automatically being enabled, so I'm going to enable them. And then you also have these other cheats like enable full edit CAS mode, which gives you free capabilities in CAS if you decide to use MC Command Center to open it. Headline effects, I like my headline effects to be on. I like my hover effects to be on. And then you have your testing cheats, which is like your base level Sims or your base level cheats on. So let's keep that on. Your logging settings. The only one that I mess with in the logging settings is the last exception, and you can choose to have this enabled or disabled. The last exceptions are basically just a notification that comes up anywhere during your gameplay and says, hey, a mod that you're playing with is broken, or hey, the mod that you are currently trying to use in your gameplay is broken, something is wrong, you need to fix it, you need to exit your game, adjust your mods folder, do something. So that notification pops up, and instead of it popping up all the time frequently throughout your gameplay, you can have it so that it'll only pop up once when you first load your game. It'll scan it, make sure all your mods are okay, and then if it's not, you'll get that last exception when you first load your game, and only when you first load your game. So down to notification settings, we can do aging and death notifications. Do you want to know if other sims, do you want to know when other random townies age up? Do you want to know if it's just the NPCs, just the sims you play, just people related to your active household, active friends, active romance, or do you want to know about every single sim ever in your gameplay aging up? Up to you. I am going to have it be related to my active household, I think. Yeah, I think that's what I want. And then death notifications, I want to know when every sim in the world dies. NPC birthdays, enabled or disabled, I'm keeping that disabled. And then pet death notifications, I am good about. Population, do you want to know if there are empty homes, or do you want to know when people are moving to new homes? No. I don't. Pregnancy notifications, do you want to know when people give birth? Do you want to know when people get married? Do you want to know when people are pregnant? Do you want to know when people get into relationships? I absolutely want to know all of these because it's pretty interesting getting those notifications and just hearing about what's going on in the game. I like those a lot, so I want to know all. And then your birth notifications, it'll be a pop-up and it'll let you know how many babies were born. So I think that is pretty cool. Your neighborhood stories. So do you want to know if a sim is adopted in your neighborhood? Again, I think these are all pretty good for storytelling purposes. Do you want to know if a sim got a new job or quit a job or retired from a job? I think these are all pretty interesting to know about. So that is why I like this stuff to be enabled. Your club monitor notifications. So do you want to know if a sim is added to a club or if they leave a club or anything like that? You can have it enabled. If you want to know just any notifications at all, you can have that on. If you don't have this enabled, then you will not get any notifications at all anyway. So you want to make sure that's enabled if you do like getting notifications. So yes, these are all the options that you have. And if you want a notification whenever this mod is updated, then you can have this checked off as well. Now here we are at the phone text options. So once you click this, it'll say basically, do you want to allow your sims to get text? They can get any text messages, they can only get festival messages, or they can get no messages. It's up to you. I like my sims to get messages, so I'm leaving it on. And then your show menu settings. So bypass specific menus. This means that if you do not want a specific cheat to show up, then you can click it and then it will disappear, and then you can always add it back on. But I like to have all of my cheats available, so I'm going to leave that alone. Show your cheats menu again. So if you want to use the all with the shift key in order to open up the MC Command Center menu, then you are able to use that here. But we're leaving it alone how it is. Your computer menu, same thing, you can open it with your shift key touching the computer, but I think I'm good. And then gnome menu, the sim menu, all the same thing. So you can click on these you can click on a sim, you can click on a computer, you can click on a mailbox, and you can click on a gnome apparently to open up some MC Command Center settings. So these are all referring to these different options, and each option has a different menu. So clicking on MC Command Center from the computer will not bring up the same menu as clicking on a sim, and it will not pick up the same menu as clicking on a mailbox. And we're going to go over all of those things in this video, so just stay tuned, be patient. So again, that is all of our notification console menu settings. And now we have relationship settings. So do we want to allow teen parenting? Yeah, I think it happens. Sometimes it happens. It is what it is. So if sims break up, do you want to make always the male sim move out, always the female sim move out, or just let it be random? I think random. This is the percentage or the likelihood that couples' relationships will increase or decrease over time. If you want their relationships to decrease, then you want it to be lower. If you want their relationships to increase or to, be better over time, then you want it to be higher. If you want everything to stay the same, just leave it at 0, leave it alone. Move children with breakup. So basically this setting right here is if your sims break up and they have a child, do you want the child to stay in the home that they were currently living in, or do you want them to move out with the parent? This is basically just a random, this is like the percentage of that happening. So if you want them to be more likely to move, then you want it to be 100. If you want it to be less likely that they move, then you want it to be 0. And if you want it to be a 50-50 chance, then maybe put it at 50. Same thing, the couple relationship change percent and the spouse relationship change percent are the same exact thing. It's just boyfriend girlfriend couples and then married couples. So bypass played households. This basically is just about if the sims are moving in together or moving out together and all that stuff, do you want these settings to be enabled for played households as well? So basically, if you go into your main menu and you have sims that you're not currently playing with, but you have played with before, you've loaded into their house before, those are your quote unquote played households. So just keep that in mind. And then your move-in settings. So allow homeless romance to move in. So if you have a sim that has a house and then they start being romantic with a sim that is homeless, can that homeless sim move in with the sim that you already had? Yes. And you can decide that for yourself. Move-in ages. So do you want teens, young adults, elders? Anybody can move in with the sim that they are being romantic with. And yes, anyone. Do we want teens doing that? Let's leave that alone right now for the teens. But the percentage level is up to you. Do you want it to be everybody shacked up, or more people just single, mingling and whatever? It's up to you. So then that brings us to the friendship decay percentage. And this basically is like, how likely is it that your friendships will decay with your sims? Higher or lower is up to you. Friendship difficulty adjustment. So if you want your relationships to go higher or faster, do you want them to increase or decrease? It's up to you. You can change these settings for yourself. Relationship culling. So for example, if my sim doesn't talk to another sim, say in this LP that I have, the early fam, DJ is disconnected from his father. So if he were to not talk to his father for an extended period of time, relationship culling would potentially delete his relationship altogether with his father, and we don't want that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bypass that because we don't want that. So your romance difficulty adjustment, how hard is it for your sims to develop romantic relationships? You can increase or decrease these. And then your romantic decay percentage, how much or how fast do you want this to increase or decrease based on, or just decrease? How fast do you want it to decrease if your sim is not constantly engaging with these relationships? Now set your age span duration. So you can do this with each specific thing. Do you want it to be a short, normal, or long lifespan? You can also do this in your just regular game settings. So I don't really mess with that in here just because I have it already set up in my base game. So there we go. Those are your MC command settings. Now let's go to CAS. We can adjust walk styles, appearance templates, age up, all this stuff. So for example, do we want to change walk styles on age up? No. You can refine your appearance templates. So you can specify specific templates that you want for your females or your male sims. You can exclude traits that you don't want sims to ever have this trait. So you can choose to do that. And same thing with pets. You can set limits to fit and fatness for female and male sims. You can monitor physiques. For offspring over here, you can use parental physical attributes. So basically what this means is, do you want sims to look like their parents? Do you want the sims parents to have a direct impact on them? So this right here is about their body parts, their fat settings, and all that stuff, rather than it being random. Yes, you want your sims to inherit traits from their parents. So same thing, values. So for example, if your sim is responsible, they're more likely to have a responsible child. So then same thing with the parent skin tones. We want all of this stuff to be enabled. We want them to look like their parents. So okay, so career difficulty adjustment, you can click on this, and it just, again, it depends. You want it to be easier or harder for them to advance in their careers. Children quit school, do you want to allow children to be able to quit school? I have that disabled. Your neighborhood story settings, do you want to alter your neighborhood story settings? If you do, you can enable or disable that. School homework progression, so if you want them to be able to do their homework faster, then you want the number over here to be higher. If you want them to finish their homework slower, you want the number to be -3 or below 0. Secret society, so this comes with the whole college thing. So if you want the rate in which your secret society organization decays, if you want it to be faster, then you put it at 200, 300, 400. If you want it to be slower, then you can put it at 0. Teens quit school, same thing as children quit school. University difficulty, do you want it to be easy for them to get an A? Do you want it to be hard for them to get an A? Homework progression, same thing as school homework progression. Do you want them to commit it faster or slower? I typically stay away from the cleaner option because I don't usually need it, but you can use your neighborhood cleaner. You can clean cold sims. So for example, we talked about earlier, if DJ were to completely cut off his father, his father could be a cold sim. Do you want to sync the household names? So for example, if there is a family and all of the sims don't have the same last name, do you want the game to fix that? So if you leave this as enabled, that means that sims can join and leave clubs within their own free will, like NPC sims. Club member count, so you can adjust the member count. Typically it's 8, but you can increase it all the way to 50. Note that this can cause some weird UI situations within the club panel, but that's on you. That's what you want. Maximum joinable clubs. Again, your sim can only join 3 clubs, up to 3 clubs. But if you want them to join more, then you can add this if you choose. So monitor club members. If you enable this, that means that the game will automatically fill in every club. So if there are empty slots, the game will automatically put people who fit the requirements into the club. Open members. So this specifies how many positions can be left. when the previous setting is on, how many slots do they want to make sure is available. Okay, so MC Dresser, this is pretty much mostly to just clean certain items. So for example, if you've ever given your sim a shower and they're wearing a big old poofy dress, or they're wearing a towel in the shower, or they're wearing some clothes that you do not want them to wear, they have on makeup or something, this is how you can adjust that with MC Dresser. And then you have MC Occult. Personally, I do not play with any supernatural settings, so you can adjust all of these to eliminate those, or you can do your abduction pregnancy. Y'all know Sims being abducted and ending up pregnant, so you can adjust these settings in here. You can also adjust the forced alien disguise, so you can make Sims always wear their alien disguise, or you can make sure that Sims never are disguised, so that is also something you can do. Maximum aliens in the world, so I personally do not like aliens, so that's why I have it to be a -1. That means they will not spawn, but if you want aliens to spawn, then you can make this number higher. And then those are all similar settings for the mermaids and the vampires. You can go to MC population for moving settings. So you can allow homeless Sims to move into homes. The game will automatically populate it. So if you want that, you're gonna hit enable. If you want homeless Sims to move into apartments, that's this. You just have to select the percentage. The higher, or putting it at 100, this means that Sims will openly, freely move into apartments. And if it's at 0, then they will not. Moving out elders basically just means that do you want elders to move out, and they can move into like a retirement household with other elders. So if you are one of those people who mostly play with families and not really with a single sim, you might want to adjust this. Or if you are somebody who does only really play with single sims and not really families, then this setting might intrigue you. So if you want it to be only moving sims like single by themselves, then you want this to be enabled. But if you want it to be more families or groups, then you hit disable. Moving teams as dependents. So when this is enabled, that means that teams are treated as dependents, so they will not move out as single sims, and they will not be like head of household unless you manually do that yourself. Enforce vampire homes. So if you click on this, vampires will only move into homes that are vampire specific. So if you have that disabled, the vampires can pretty much move wherever they want. So use that however you want. Bypass dorm residents. So remember before when we talked about moving old Sims out into retirement homes, this is a similar concept. So you want to probably leave this disabled. So just there you go. And now population settings. Percentage. This is all just a percentage of how you want your world to be set up. So you can go on ahead and do this however you would like. Your enable and disable bar nights. Personally, I don't like alien night. I don't like bar night. Ghost night, no. The guys night is cool. The ladies night is cool. Singles night is cool. But the rest of them, I'm good on that. Oh, also, sometimes they do require you to restart your games in order to enable the effects, but that's okay. Just restart your game and then all will be well. Okay, so if you want random lot traits to be established for each lot that you load onto, then you can hit all lots. If you want them to be random for residential lots, you can hit this one. If you want it to only be active for your own home lot, then you hit this. Okay, MC pregnancy. So if you click on this, you can do your adoption settings, adoption ages, babies, infants, toddlers, children, and teenagers can all be adopted. Adoption percentage for male sims, you want to do, I usually 50-50. Opposite sex adoption percent. I cannot talk. So basically, it's like the percentage that an opposite sex couple, like a hetero couple, will adopt a child, rather than have one through pregnancy. 0 means that only pregnancies will happen, and 100 means that only adoptions will happen. So I'm gonna put 15% because, just putting in a little bit, something. Rename non-active adoptions. So basically, this just means if a child is adopted into a family, do you want to rename that thing? So I'm gonna hit all. And then same-sex adoption percentage, I'm gonna put, I guess we'll put that a little bit higher, 25%, maybe 45%. So they have a bit of a chance. And then marriage sim selection, allow homeless marriage. Sure, homeless sims can be married. I don't really care about that. Bypass dorm residence. So, do you want your dorm sims to be married? No, they don't need to be married on campus. I'm cool. Um, bypass played sims. So a sim that I'm playing with does. Oh, actually, do you want the sims that are not in your active household but you have played with them? Do you want them to randomly just be married without you without you facilitating it? And I guess I'll enable that just because it can add a little something something to the game. Bypass robots. But robots don't need to be getting married. It's like um active sim romances. Just for a little spice, we can leave that on. Days to run checks. Flag preference. That's not my business. Who marries who? Marriage percentage. Gender preference. Valid marriage ages. Adults, young adult, and elders can all get married, in my opinion. Cool. Neighborhood story settings. Also neighborhood stories. Do we want to limit pregnancies? Yeah. Everybody and their mama don't need to be pregnant. And then adoption limit. Let's just put this at like 3 somewhere, or 4, I guess, somewhere in the halfway point, so people have a chance. Alright, I'm gonna leave this disabled because I want them to at least have a chance to get randomly pregnant. I just don't want it to be doing too much. Pet adoption limit, I don't care about. Offspring, do we want identical offspring chance? So basically, this means that your sims have identical genetics to their parents? And I'm gonna say, yeah, I want them to look like their parents. And then, will they inherit traits? Yeah. I'm actually gonna go back and put random though. So yes, I want them to randomly inherit their parents' traits. Maximum household children. How many? This is all default. So, for example, a family that I am not playing with will have a maximum of 3 children naturally within the game, and I'm gonna put a maximum 6. It's because I don't care. Like, they can have as many kids as they want. And then offspring gender. Yep, they can have boys, they can have girls, or whatever. Who cares? Rename non-active offspring. So if we have this on, that means that a pop-up will happen every time a sim has a baby, and it gives me the option to name them. So I have that under played households only, or should I do it all? I'm gonna just do played households. So yeah, we're gonna leave it with that. Played households, offspring gender. Sync child surname enabled. So basically what the syncing child surname means is if a child is adopted or if a couple gets married, then the child's name will be changed to match both parents. So we want to enable that. Okay, so allow pregnancy aging. Is your sim allowed to age up when pregnant? Yes. Auto marry percentage. The percentage chance that an unmarried sim will get married after becoming pregnant. And we're going to put that at a 50-50 chance. That's on y'all. Y'all can do whatever makes y'all happy. Pause sims pregnancy. Specified sims will not progress in their pregnancies as long as they belong to a category below. No. Their pregnancies can go as planned. Pause on labor. So if the sim goes into labor, will the game automatically pause? I don't think so. Pregnancy duration. So the default is 3. I just leave it alone because if I want to pause a sim's pregnancy, I can use this same mod to do that in a different way, and I will go over how to do that later on. So random mood duration. So sometimes pregnant sims get random mood lists and they can pop up for however long. I'm just gonna put 3 hours or 4. I rate my 3 or 4. Just they stay right together. Use random moods. Yes, absolutely, we want those because those are pretty fun to have. And then use traits for pregnancy. Do we want to change the pregnancy percentage based on their traits? No. Oh, actually, yes. A sim that hates children, for example, is more likely to get pregnant. Yeah, I can like that. So, partner sim selection. Allow affairs. Yeah, we can allow affairs. Let's do 20%, and then enforce family relationships. Yep, enabled. Limited by relationship. So sims who have random pregnancies can only do so if their relationships match. So we can do woohoo partners, significant others, all of it. Hold on. Actually, let me see. Where is it? Enforce family? No. Limited by relationship. Woohoo partners. Should it be significant others? Yeah, why can't I check off multiple? I feel like married, significant others, woohoo partners. Can I put significant others, I guess? I guess they both count under that. Occupancy preference. Yeah, if you have a home, then you can be pregnant. We don't need homeless Sims getting pregnant out here. Okay, so outside of MC pregnancy, we got MC tuner, change interaction behavior. So allow child baby care. Allow a child to perform basic baby care interactions. Yes, I think that is cool. Allow emotional depth. No, I hate those. I hate those so much. Hate them. Allow monster under the bed. Disable it. Actually, I do kind of like it because it can be good for gameplay. So multiple BFFs. Yeah, that's fine. We can enable that. Allow teams to move in and invite other sims to move in. No. No, thank you. Disable witness death. Yeah, let's let that go. Or yeah, just don't. You don't need to run. If my sim is ordering a coffee in a cafe, right? She doesn't need to stop ordering her coffee in the cafe to then run outside of the cafe in a way that she wouldn't even see. Like, if there's no windows in that direction or anything, she somehow knows there's someone dying and runs. No, we don't need that. If she sees it, then she can, respond appropriately and mourn or whatever, but no, thank you. So thanks for that. And then friendly, active, single. I think that is a cool thing to have. Friendly stay the night as well. I like that too. Kisses are always available. I think that's good. Put away books. Fix. Okay, so whenever enabled, Sims will attempt to put away books when they finish reading or doing their homework. I think it's fun to leave it out and let them do it randomly. So stop random flirting. When they're in a flirty mood, they autonomously flirt with other Sims. Stop random flirting. Do we want Sims to randomly be flirting? No, we don't. So then disabled is correct. Okay, cool. Change interaction autonomy. You can do this on your own however you want. If you want there, for example, to be autonomous proposals, you can enable that. I think I'm gonna enable it just for some drama. Autonomous cleaning, gardening, repairs. It's up to you. You can do however you feel makes sense. And then we've got empty woohoo. Woohoo actions. Do we allow family members? No, sir. We do allow teens. Same-sex tracker babies disabled. They can do the the insemination thing, polygamy, multiple engagements and spouses. For drama, yeah. No strings woohoo and tracker baby can be attempted. Yeah, I think so. And then no strings, I think, yep. Allow tracker baby. Yeah, my friends can tracker baby if that's what they want to do. And then elders, that's on y'all. I don't care. Risky woohoo percentage. Now, if you have Wicked Whims or Wonderful Whims installed and you have it set to your cycle, like that is what determines pregnancy, then you probably don't really want to mess with this stuff. Because you don't want to just, cause any confusion or anything. So I'm just going to leave this alone. But woohoo reactions, bed sharing, when enabled, Sims will sleep in beds while ignoring other Sims. I like that to be enabled. Romantic Sims will not trigger jealousy reactions. I like when Sims get jealous because it's good for gameplay. Use privacy for woohoo. Yes, you absolutely want some privacy when you're woohooing. When the sim woohoos between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m., they will go to sleep immediately after. And I kind of like that, so I have that enabled. Sim nudity. Again, if you have Wicked Whims, just be careful with this, because you don't want to, overlap settings and stuff. So I'm just gonna leave this, just gonna let it be. But with other settings, you can do autonomous woohoo, tracker baby, rest time, extreme woohoo. So woohoo, this basically means they will woohoo more often and they don't really have to cool down or anything. So if you want that, you can go ahead and enable it. Birth control, again, all these settings are additional with Wicked Whims, so I'm not messing with it here on MC Command Center because I like the Wicked Whims system a little bit better. And then reset settings is just to reset everything back the way that it was. So yeah. Okay, so if you have made it this far, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that I'm helping you guys out a ton, and if I am, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. It helps so much, and check out some of my Let's Plays. I really enjoy creating that type of content for you guys, so if you guys were to watch those videos and like them and engage with them, it would absolutely mean the world to me. So yeah, but in the meantime, let's go on ahead and move on to the mailbox portion of the cheats that are accessible to you guys through MC Command Center. So all you have to do is click on any mailbox and this will pop up, this option. So you just go to MC Cheats. And then this is the panel that will pop up. So you can do active household cheats, and with that you can fill the needs of everyone in your household or everyone that is currently on your lot. So I'm just going to do this so you can see exactly what I mean. And then if I were to hit play, all of their bars would automatically fill right up. My game is lagging a little bit right now, but just give me some. Yeah, you see, there it goes. It all went up. So there's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on it again, and I'm going to go back to MC Cheat. So if you want to go to change lot details, you can change your lot traits or your lot challenges. So for example, say I wanted to change my lot trait, I could click on that right there, and then I can delete a lot trait, or I can delete all of the lot traits, or I can randomize the lot traits. So say I wanted to just delete one of the traits, but I didn't want to go into build my mode for whatever reason, I could delete any of the traits that are listed on the lot. So there you go. And then the same thing applies for the lot challenges. I could also change the world time. So for example, right now it is Wednesday, 9:51 a.m. Say I wanted to make it, let's just say I want to make it Saturday. I can do 6. And then for the hours, say I want to make it 10 a.m., then I can hit OK. And then it will, it went to Tuesday. So maybe it's forwarding to, okay. So if you want to move forward 6 days, then that's what happened with that. But you have to also be careful, because when you do this, your Sims will bug out a little bit. So you have to reset each Sim and make sure that they don't die, because their needs can end up being a little bit like all over the place. So I'm gonna let it play so you guys can see what I need. So basically what I did was it moved 6 days forward and 10 hours forward. So that's why it's 8 p.m. on Tuesday. You can also do a deletion cheat. So if you were to click on that, you can delete every Sim in the world. You can delete every Sim by, say for example, you want to delete every elder Sim or every toddler, I don't know. You want to delete every female Sim. You want to delete every vampire or mermaid or alien. You can do it like this. If you want to delete the cold Sims, like the Sims that have their relationships are deleted or removed, you want to delete dead Sim relationships. So you know sometimes if a Sim passes away, a family member, you still can see them in the relationship panel. You can remove that. You can delete homeless Sims, pets, unplayed Sims. You can delete every Sim in, for example, Willow Creek. So all these pop-ups are happening right now because I skipped forward time so much. So these are all the pop-ups that would have came up throughout the time. All of the, you see listed that we failed to pay our bills, so they shut off our power. So now all this stuff is popping up. It's like several days worth of pop-ups are just randomly coming up. So there you go. And then after deletion sheets, you see, how do we end up over here? Okay, and then you also have seasons cheats. So if you were to click on this, you can change the season, you can change the weather, you can randomly have a lightning strike or randomly have lightning strike a specific Sim. So these are all pretty fun and interesting. And then the final one is the Sims and NPC household cheat. So you can hide certain households, and this is also a big one here. Summon Sims. So if you click on this, you can either summon a Sim by their name, which is, it will list every single Sim in the game, similar to if you want to throw a party and you have to choose from the list of people. You can do it from this way. Or actually, sorry, that's what this, the list all Sims. By name is if you know their name and you want to type their name in specifically, then you can type in their name and then they will appear on your lot, or you can pick them from the list of every Sim in the game. Now, remember when we spoke about this earlier, it was like teleport all Sims or something like that, like have them next to each other or pop up on top of each other. So that setting was from the computer. It basically was saying once you use this cheat to summon a Sim, do they come in together or do they come in next to each other? So that's what that is. And those are all of the cheats that are available through the Mailbox. Again, if you have watched it all the way up until this part, please don't forget to subscribe, and please, you can also feel free to check out the Early Fam, which is my Growing Together series. It features this family and I enjoy playing with them so much, and it seems like some of you guys enjoy it as well, so feel free to check that out. So now if I were to click on any sim, whether I'm playing with them or if it's an NPC sim, it doesn't really matter. I can click on them and I can click MC Command Center, and the same menu panel will pop up for every single sim. And this, in the very beginning up top, it will tell you their name, how old they are. It'll tell you if they're married or if they have any siblings, where they live, and who their parents are. So right here alone, you get so much information. So it's great. And then you can click on sim commands, and it gives you, you can either set their age, so you can change them from any lifespan ever, so infant, toddler, teen, it doesn't matter. You can put them on anywhere, and you can also set the days in their age span. So right now Melissa is 22 days in the 56 days that she will be a child, so I can change this to 50, I can change it to 55, so she'll age up tomorrow, or I can reset it and put it back to 0. Yes, I can also maintain the Sims, so I can rename her, I can delete her, kill her, I can move her into a different household, I can change her gender or completely swap it. I can, yeah, so this is her gender preference. So I can also teleport another sim to be right next to this sim. So again, will she pop up next to her or on top of her? That plays with the cheat from the computer, but I can teleport multiple sims right next to her or multiple sims to this world. These occult commands, these have to do with vampires, aliens, mermaids. Do we want to change her or turn her into one of the occult? No, we don't. So because she's a child, I can have someone actually adopt her. So if I wanted to click on this, then it'll be anyone here can actually adopt my sim. So if I were to click on him, then she would now be in his household. As far as the login commands, we're just going to leave that alone. We don't need to mess with that. But we can mess with CAS. From here, we can copy and paste outfits. We can copy and paste appearance, skin details. So for example, if you have a sim and you want to make them twins, right? But the game is just not letting them be identical, then you can copy their body appearance. You can copy their entire face, their physique, their skin details, everything, so that you can really be able to create twins and they'll be identical in that way. You can manage your sim's traits. You can add traits, you can change traits, you can remove traits. You can select their favorite drink. Now the sim is a child, so sparkling water. And then their favorite umbrella. So if it's raining and they need to open up their umbrella, what will they open up? And I think she would open this one. Physique, sim voice, walk style. These are all things that you can do in CAS, so we're gonna leave that. And then we have MC Cheats. You can increase their household funds. Cheat sim info. This is also another cheat that you can do with just testing cheats on. So you can do career cheats, change your character values, change your statistics. So like her needs, basically. Does she have to use the bathroom? Is she dirty? Is she hungry? That's what this is. Expansion cheats. So for example, club cheats. Do we want to add her to a club? Do we want to unlock a milestone or all the milestones, or remove the milestones, or reset it from scratch? Do we want to increase her celebrity level? For Snowy Escape, we can add a lifestyle. We can also add the lifestyles for the celebrity ones too. And then university traits. Do we want to add roommates? Change your character values. So conflict resolution, emotional control, empathy, manners, responsibility. You can increase or decrease this for each sim. Mood buff control, so you can add a buff. So for example, sometimes they can be happy or whatever, but you have to know the name of the buff in order to add that in. So you can also cheat emotional intensity. So what do you want them to be? Sad, playful, inspired, dazed, embarrassed. You can add all this in. You also have skill cheats, so you can forget all skills, max all skills, randomize skills levels, or set all skill levels, or set skills to each individual level. So for this, it'll pop up each skill that you have to choose from, and then you can choose, say for example, I want her let's see, her singing skill to be higher. I can put, I don't know, 5. Oh, not 15, 5. So now she can kind of sort of sing. So moving on to increasing points, you can increase her followers on social media. You can increase her, so for example, this is like for a get to work. So if you have a restaurant or a retail store, you can increase the points here. Satisfaction points is like for the little, like if you fulfill their needs or wants or whatever. Veterinarian, again, this is like with the pets, the cat and dog series. If you have a vet clinic, you can increase your points here. Make happy, so basically this will just increase all their moodlets. Complete aspiration goal, you can cheat that. You can reset the aspirations or reset the sim. Let's go to dresser. So you can copy and paste outfits onto this sim or onto another sim. So say for example, I accidentally put her formal wear in the party wear category. I could copy her formal wear and change her outfit into her party wear and then paste it. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I really use the MC dresser for. We're gonna skip tuner because we don't really need that one right now. But sim flags, basically it's to mark sims for specific behaviors. So if you don't want them to age, or if you don't want them to get married or have kids or anything like that, then that's how you would use this to put that flag on them. So for relationships, you can add relationships to sims. So if you want to, for example, make certain sims related or cousins or auntie and nephew or niece or grandparents or something, but you don't want to create all the sims that are required in order to make that happen. So for example, if I wanted to make 2 sims cousins, but I didn't want to have to go through making the aunt and the grandma and all that stuff in order to like do that and create a sim, I can just add the relationship. And let's just keep it, so say I wanted to make Winter her cousin, so I can click on Winter and I can add relationship bits, family bits, and now I can make that her cousin. I can also make it her aunt, her grandmother, her granddaughter. So this is also pretty cool. I like this feature a lot. It helps massively for when you're setting up an LP and you just don't want to have to go through creating all the characters, especially if they're not going to be aligned in the storyline or if they passed away or anything like that. You can just skip that whole step and just use this cheat. You can also delete relationships. You can also set relationship levels. You can make everyone forget a sim. So this says forget active. So if I were to click this, everyone that Melissa has a relationship with would forget about her. And this is all. So I'm going to go ahead and move up to Alana. She's kind of busy right now, so I'm going to let her do her thing. But when they're finished, I'm going to let you also see her because there are more options for adults. Okay, so when a sim is pregnant, you get an additional like menu, which is the pregnancy. So you can click on this and then you have the option, if they are pregnant, you can adjust their pregnancy phase. So you can put them not showing first trimester, she's in her second trimester, but you can also do third, and you can also put your sim in labor. Offspring. Basically, if you want your sim to have a boy or a girl, you can put that there. If you want them to have only one boy sim, for example, you have to put 1 and then you have to put 0 for females. If you leave it blank, it will randomize and you might end up with twins or triplets. Okay, y'all, so just be careful. You want to put 0 if you don't want to have that specific gender. So For specify offspring count, you can choose 1, 2, or 3 babies. Mine said that she can only have 2 because her house is damn near full, y'all. She got too many kids already. So yes, or I can completely end the pregnancy and just make her not pregnant anymore, and it'll be like basically she terminated. Or I can change her partner. I didn't even realize that this was an option. So this basically just means I can change up the baby daddy. I could make the baby daddy anybody on this list. And if the pregnancy is paused, you can resume, and you can also list the Sims children. So she has Day Day, Melissa, and Miranda, and it'll just list it up here in the little notification bar. So where is it? Yep, list children, Day Day, Melissa, and Miranda. So yep. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched it all the way into the end, wow, just bless your soul, heart, and all of it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and it helps me out so much. And also, if you guys are interested in seeing what the dynamic is with this family, because it is quite dramatic, please feel free to check out the early fam or my grown together series here on my channel. Yeah, yeah, that's it. All right, bye guys.